So the net cash flow after remortgage and expenses will be 1,760 per month, which is just over 21,000 a year.
The net cash flow after all expenses will be 1,600 per month, with 67,000 being left in the deal. This produces a return on investment of 41%. To summarise, what we've managed to get after refinancing was 1.485 million.
So hello and welcome to our next inspirational mastermind of top performer case studies. And we have brother and sister Will Burrows and Sarah Honey. Take it away, guys.
Hello, my name is Will Burrows and I'm from Winchester in Hampshire. I've been involved in property for the last 10 years or so. I've got a degree in product design engineering. However, when I graduated back in 2013, we were in a recession and there weren't good enough job opportunities for me in design. So I decided to follow one of my other passions and I set up Sage Living Spaces Limited, a soft landscape gardening business. This has now been running for nearly 9 years and I haven't looked back. For me, property's always been a fairly passive source of income. I was fortunate enough to buy a flat in Winchester, which has been very easy to let and manage myself. I've seen firsthand how good investing in property can be, especially over the long term. So with a nudge from Sarah here, this is what led me to start my mastermind journey.
As I think you all know, I'm Sarah Honey, Will's sister. And I just want to start by saying that until recently, I had a huge fear of public speaking. So please bear with me. The very fact that I'm doing this and not running out of that door is a testament to how much you can grow on Mastermind. So thank you, Simon and Andy. I love and hate you both in equal measure right now for putting me through this. So a little bit about me. I'm a former doctor. I worked in the NHS for several years and I spent 2.5 amazing years working abroad in New Zealand and Australia. So I'm based in Winchester in Hampshire on the south coast, and that's where Will and I both grew up. I've been an accidental landlord now for nearly 10 years and have 2 buy-to-let properties. I've got 3 young children, and it's the income from these 2 rental properties that allowed me to take a career break after my maternity leave. And when I came to remortgage one of my properties last year, it got me thinking, this is something that's not only given me a relatively passive income and allowed me to spend time with my children while they're little, but it's also gone up in value hugely in that time too. And with work, I knew I wanted to find something more flexible that I could fit around my family life, rather than fitting our family life around on-call rotas and weekends on call. So I started doing some research and came across Simon's online webinars. And in May of last year, I took the plunge, so to speak, and signed up to go to my local PIN meeting in Southampton, dragging Will along with me for moral support. And what really struck me was how friendly and helpful and positive everyone was. So having gone to our first PIN meeting on a Tuesday, on Thursday of that week, Will and I found ourselves up in Heathrow for the 3-day Mastermind Accelerator course. And then we both signed up to join Mastermind Virtual 6 in July of 2022. So it was quite a whirlwind start to our property journey.
Coming into Mastermind, I thought I knew a lot about property, although this belief was quickly shattered by cyber. Having paid down the mortgage on my buy-to-let property to the point at which it was unencumbered, I was feeling pretty good about it, but knowing what I know now, I could have been in a much better position had I adopted the strategies we're now using earlier on in life. 6 months before Mastermind, me and my now wife Roz bought a city centre apartment in Winchester, which we have set up and run as serviced accommodation. Realising how much work is involved in this, we now have a manager that does this for us. But having the experience has showed me that although serviced accommodation can be very lucrative, it wasn't the direction I wanted to pursue through property. So our main strategy is creating high quality co-living HMOs aimed at young professionals. It's an area that will work in a recession, and raising the standard of living conditions for people is something that we can really get behind and is desperately needed in the current UK housing crisis. We started off by searching for properties in the Winchester area. However, after months of stacking up deals and trying to get a property to work, we decided we needed to expand our search area. Winchester was just too expensive for what we were looking to achieve. So after widening that search area, we've settled on the area of Southampton.
So our first deal was a 3-bed mid-terrace Victorian property, which was on the open market. I'd spent a lot of time getting to know local estate agents in the area where I was looking to invest, so they knew me and they knew what I was looking for. And this property was on the market for $295,000, which was undervalued. And the agent rang me to say they had a property that would make a great HMO and that the vendor was actually happy to accept a lot less than asking price because she was keen to sell quickly. So we viewed it and immediately saw its potential. It was big. Most of the garden was already developed, which meant that we wouldn't need to go through planning. It could all be done under permitted development. So we agreed a purchase price of just over $269,000, which was $26,000 below market value. And this was in a relatively strong market. So it was a cash purchase with a loan to fund the works to convert it to a 7-bed, 6-bath HMO. So it will go to 6 beds initially, and then once it's tenanted, I'll apply for planning to allow the 7th room to be occupied. The cost of the works is $170,000, so it's quite a hefty refurb, but that includes a loft conversion as well. And the expected revaluation, based on research and what I know other investors have achieved recently for similar properties in the area, is $630,000. And that's based on a 7-bed commercial valuation, which gives a big uplift on the bricks and mortar value. So with this revaluation, there would be no money left in and making the return on investment infinite. So the net cash flow after remortgage and expenses will be $1,760 per month, which is just over $21,000 a year. And I'll be able to recycle all my money and go again. So it shows that you absolutely can find deals on the open market. And I never thought I'd find a deal like this, especially not in the area where I live. And now I've bought my first one, agents know I'm serious. They're already letting me know about other deals before they come to market. When I went in to collect the keys, they said, you know, we've got another one for you. So it's good. There's also a double garage, which is attached to the back of the main house. So there's further potential there for it either to go up to an 8-bed or to apply for planning for a self-contained unit, which I would use for serviced accommodation.
I came across this property while attending the Strategy Implementation Live event back in March. Simon was encouraging us to use Property Filter and take action by ringing an estate agent to book in a viewing. At this point, the price of the property had already been reduced twice, and I thought it had potential, so we went to view it that week. It's a Victorian mid-terrace property in good condition with 3 bedrooms and 2 reception rooms, all of which are a very good size. Following the viewing, I put in a low offer, which was rejected, but I kept in touch with the agent. Eventually, the agent did ring back to say the vendor had now become more motivated and would accept an offer of $250,000. So we ran the numbers, which worked, and we took the opportunity. I intend to convert this property into a high-quality 5-bed co-living HMO with 3 en-suites and 1 shared bathroom. The refurb will cost around £60,000, with the revaluation coming in at $405,000. The net cash flow after all expenses will be $1,600 per month, with $67,000 being left in the deal. This produces a return on investment of 41%. There is scope in the future to extend into the loft space and make this a 7-bed. This is subject to planning, however, has already been achieved on the road this year.
So one of the things that Simon advises us to do is to start by looking at how you can maximise profitability of your existing properties. Will and I both have 2-bed flats in the same block in central Winchester, in a great location, 5 minutes from the high street, 5 minutes from the hospital, the university and the train station, with fast links to London. And they're quite large flats. The floor area is 70 square metres for each one, and there's potential to develop up into the roof space. So I've had plans drawn up to do a loft conversion to convert my flat into a 6-bed, 3-bathroom HMO. The refurb cost for this would be £75,000 per flat, but it would increase the net rental income to over £3,000 a month after expenses, giving a return on investment of 23%. Both flats are currently tenanted at the moment, but we're in the process of applying for planning so that we'll be ready to start the conversion as soon as the current tenants move out.
I'm currently in negotiation on a vendor finance opportunity for a 5-bed HMO in Southampton. This opportunity we found through viewing another property that turned out to not be suitable for us. However, after telling the agent exactly what we were looking for, he said he had just been instructed on a property that would fit the bill for us. We were then able to go and view this property, put an offer forward and open up negotiations direct with the vendor, all before it even came on the open market. And this has potential to be a very good deal for us, and has confirmed how important it is to tell everybody what you're doing and what you're looking for exactly. I'm still actively sourcing deals on all platforms, as well as putting out landlord letters and leaflets. We've built up a really good reputation with local agents and are committed to booking weekly viewings. And actually, having said that, my wife is on a viewing at the moment as we speak. So the momentum I've gained through this mastermind year has really taken off in the last few months, and I'm so excited for what we've got coming forward.
So last week I was called out of the blue by a landlord and local property investor that Will and I had numerous meetings and conversations with last November regarding his 14-bed student HMO, which has huge potential. He wasn't particularly motivated at the time, so we put it in the follow-up file, but he's called me because with the current mortgage rates, he's been struggling to sell it, and he's now more open to creative options. So I think there's a potential purchase lease opportunity there. Once the refurb of my HMO is underway, I'm planning to set up a sourcing business as a second stream of income to allow me to continue investing. And I'll be looking to project manage refurbs for other investors and to do joint ventures as well in the future. And I'm definitely going to continue to invest in myself with ongoing coaching and mentoring, as I found that invaluable this year. And my coach Dom, who I've just seen has tuned in to watch today, has been amazingly supportive of me all year. So very grateful for that.
So moving on to our summary of deals, we have talked quite a lot about case studies 1 and 2, so we won't go through those in too much detail, but we wanted to outline our case study 3, where for these figures, we've only included the uplift in value, not the full value. Where it's an existing stock, we've thought it's only fair to put the amount that we'll be using the techniques we've learned through Mastermind to really make the most out of these properties. So case study 3, the property value after refinancing will uplift by 225,000, refurb at 150, which creates an uplift in rent of 3,700 between both of them, which is 44,400 net annual cash flow, 23% ROI. To summarise, what we've managed to get after refinancing was 1.485 million, with refurbs adding up to 380,000, net monthly cash flow of £7,060, with net annual cash flow at 84,720. And then the equity after refinance on all of them adds up to around 870,000, which is 40%.
So although the numbers are reasonably good, we felt we couldn't talk about what we've achieved this year without also mentioning our personal achievements on Mastermind, which for us far outweigh any of the numbers we've achieved. And for me, the big one has got to be confidence, the confidence that I've gained during my Mastermind year. I don't think you know this, Simon, but quite early on in the accelerator course, I had decided I wanted to join Mastermind. And one of the days you joined our table for lunch, and you wanted to know more about all of us to see if we would be a good fit for Mastermind. And I was absolutely sure that you wouldn't want me to join. So there I was a full-time mum at the time. I had no business background. And this was the level of self-doubt that I was living with. So now I've set up and I'm quietly building my own property business with the support of you all. And it's been incredible. I'm loving it and I'm loving the challenge. And who would have thought that property investing would be more holistic than working in the NHS? So the next step is to build it, perhaps not so quietly, but I'm now a helper at my local PIN meeting. So who knows, you may yet make a PIN host of me yet.
So after years of my landscape business drifting without direction and intentionally staying underneath the VAT threshold, I made the leap to go VAT registered at the start of my Mastermind training. Since then, turnover for the year is on course to at least double, and the confidence and support I receive from my coach Darren cannot be underestimated in this. I've employed a team lead gardener and am achieving these results while spending half as much time actively managing the business. Before committing to Mastermind, I didn't value investing time or money into my personal development. This has changed hugely. And now I know why Simon says investing in yourself is the best investment you can make closely behind property. But the biggest achievement of the year has to be getting married last July and becoming a father to our baby girl Imogen, who was born on the second workshop in September. They are my infinite ROIs. Right, on to some top tips. So I would say play to your strengths. Being a property investor requires a diverse skill set, and especially it can be overwhelming at the start to try and excel at every single skill. Therefore, building a power team who complement your skills and allow you time to focus on what you're best at will maximize your results and make the process just so much more enjoyable. Stacking up the deal. I find that working backwards is the best way to stack up a deal, starting with the result you're looking for. That way, I know what price I can afford to pay or what level of refurb I can do in order to get the return on investment I want. Always stress test your deals to ensure they stack up to turbulent conditions in the future, and keep an eye on what your exit strategy might be should you need to sell. Make as many viewings as possible. I can't stress this enough. Getting out there and being visible amongst agents has led to our biggest successes and opportunities this year. And finally, pipeline. If you can nail all of these things above, then getting a pipeline of deals becomes a much less daunting task, and the opportunities will start coming to you.
So my top tips would be that mindset is key. Work on yourself first and all else will follow. I'm an accumulator along with lots of my fellow masterminders in this group. And we're like the tortoises. We need knowledge before we can take action. But certainly for me, it wasn't just about gaining knowledge. I had to do a lot of work within, and I knew I needed to change myself to make a success of this long term. Cultivate good habits, because over time, these will make a big difference. I have a morning routine which involves affirmations, meditation, gratitude practice, and reconnecting with my goals. And I think the effects of good habits compound over time, and it's like setting off on a plane journey, and by slightly altering that trajectory, you end up at a completely different destination. Don't compare yourself to others. We all have different skills, so only compare yourself to who you were 6 months ago or a year ago. Spend time early on to work out your strategy and area, and where possible, stick with it. That way you can be laser focused. The Mastermind gives you an amazing overview of everything that's possible within property, but it can be easy to get distracted by shiny penny syndrome. But if you know what you're looking for, it's easier to find. Have a strong reason why, ideally one that isn't to do with money, and this will sustain you and give you the determination to keep going through tough times. Be decisive and trust your gut instinct. I knew I wanted to do Mastermind and I haven't looked back. Follow up. A lot of the potential deals that Will and I are in discussion about currently are from landlords that we first spoke to months ago. Be courageous. Push yourself outside your comfort zone. That's how you grow. And for anyone watching this who hasn't done Mastermind, definitely consider doing it. Will and I are so much more knowledgeable now. There's less risk of us making costly mistakes, and the type of property that we think is a good deal has completely changed. And the skills and friends that we've gained this past year will remain with us long after our Mastermind year has ended. It really has been a life-changing experience for me and my family. Knew this had gone on too long. And I'm so grateful for that. So I want to say a heartfelt thank you to Simon, Andy, Dom and Sanjay, and to my lovely Mastermind group for making it such a great year. I thought I was joining a property course, but I've come away with so much more. I want to end with one of Simon's quotes from Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
I do hope you got massive value from watching that inspirational case study. Hope you took lots of notes and start using some of the hints and tips in your property investing journey. Now, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you hit the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever we bring out new content and training that's going to help you be a more successful investor. If you got any comments, just list those below, and I'll come back and answer as many as I can. And by the way, there's going to be a link below for you to get some further training so you can find out how you can get the kind of results we've just been talking about in this interview. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. See you in the next video we've lined up for you.